What's up, everybody? It's Jazz Fuzz. Long time no see, right? Been busy. Been doing me. Been going to college and taking care of adult life stuff. I want to come on here today to talk about, of course, the gas, and there's really in general stuff. Like, I have a lot of stuff pop in my mind. And one of the things about the stuff that popped in my mind was, this whole gas thing and the COVID and all the other stuff that's been going on in the world today. Now, funny thing is, a lot of people are sitting here, you hear the people say it's the powerful people controlling it. Then you hear people say there's certain corporation people controlling this, this madness of pandemic. And you just hear so much about so many higher powerful people controlling a lot of things of the world today. But me personally, this whole thing to me, the pandemic, the gas, and everything else been going on, I truly believe, and this is just my opinion, but I truly believe that God, if you don't believe in God, that's okay. But I truly believe that God is really trying to show us that, one, we got too comfortable, two, we end up being way too selfish, and then three, we're not being, what's the word? The word helpful, but empathy. There's a lot of people that show empathy. There's a lot of people that show help. There are a lot of people show concern and help their neighbors. There have been so many stories that I read that people are helping so many people and show appreciation to essential workers, first line workers. It just show a beautiful side of society, but it also show an ugly side of society. And I guess what I'm trying to get here is that God is challenging us to see what the world heart is. Because for a long time, when COVID happened, people talk about disability people. People start talking about sex workers. People start talking about homeless people for the first time. And for a long time, the news never ever spoke about these people. Never spoke about these people until COVID hit. That is crazy. And it goes to show society like to keep things hidden and not discussed about. But as every kind of type of a dramatic thing happen on Earth or anywhere else on the planet, topics like this will be discussed in the mainstream. Now, this stuff been talking about for decades and centuries, but the mainstream people keep ignoring certain people. So I feel like God is doing all of this to test people's hearts, test people's mindset, and test people's spirits. Because let me tell you something. The pandemic showed good and evil. Now, most people don't believe there's no such thing as good and evil. I beg to differ to you. There is a thing called good and evil on this planet. I don't know why people don't think there's no good and evil. I guess they believe because there's mental illness, trauma, bad parenting, the past of certain people, individuals had a terrible childhood. So they kind of say, well, they went through some shit. You can't say they're bad people. And there's no such thing as good or evil because people went through some dramatic stuff. You're right. However, there is a thing called good and evil. Like, I had to challenge some of my friends about children. There are stories about children killing other kids and other people. And a lot of people believe children are pure heart. That is very true. But I always get this sense some children, And I'm not saying all, because we know God creates children of a pure of a heart. But I do believe some children did not have a pure heart. I don't know, people watch the channel called Identity, where they talk about kids that kill and all kinds of stories about children murdering other children. And most of them never been around violence. Some had, some read books about it, some were influenced. But a lot of them did not influence that shit. You know, some of it, they were just, grow up a normal, healthy family, and all of a sudden they just want to kill the whole family. Just because they got pissed and angry. I always tell people that rage, it don't matter what size, it don't matter who you are, rage is in every human being on this planet. And boy, when it goes out like 10 times worse, like the Incredible Hulk. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that what I'm trying to say here, there are some people on this planet that are just pure evil. Just pure evil. And most people don't want to believe somebody was born to be pure or evil. No, I don't want to say that because that's too far stretched. But sometimes there's been like stories I heard that a mother will look at her child and say, she's evil. Before this child even walk, talk, or anything, they can sense that there's something wrong with this child. And most people think, the mom is crazy or the family is overlooking. And you gotta understand, the human mindset don't understand about spirituality. Now, there's a lot of people that believe in spirits, and there's a lot of people that don't. But what I'm trying to say is there are spirits among this earth around us. And just because you don't believe in it, it definitely believes in you because it's looking at you every day. And it goes off the vibrations and your aura. If your aura is always gray and black, then this entity or evil spirit will attach to you. But if your aura is always bright and shiny and have wonderful colors, then this positive energy will follow you. But dark energy likes that too, because dark energy wants everything on the planet to be dark. So people, you're like, well, Jasmine, what does this have to do with the gas and the pandemic? Well, one thing for starters, when the lockdown happened, a lot of people didn't know they had mental illness. A lot of people have not go over their past, traumatized past. A lot of people really haven't got over what had pain, their marriage, relationship, family, or whatever. When you isolate yourself, your mind start to go backwards instead of go forward. Everybody around the world been busy doing everything. So your spirit, I'm just speaking and just speaking my mind. I'm not 100%. But I think when people were busy, their spirit was busy, But when you're isolated, your spirit start to show what color aura it was. And your spirit start to understand deep psychological that you did not go over or didn't lay something to rest. Because after the lockdown was open, there have been so many people been out of whack. And when I say out of whack, meaning like their common sense have went out the window. I kid you not, when we in VA, when the lockdown was released, people started getting car accidents like you wouldn't believe. It's like people didn't know how to drive anymore. I'm telling you, isolation awakened people's spirit. And when I say that, I mean that, what I mean by awaken your spirit, I think people didn't know they had a good or bad spirit. And when people got out of the lockdown, a lot of people, bad spirit, start showing up like crazy. And a lot of people, good spirits, start brightening up in the world, and now you got good and versus evil. People are like, well, before the lockdown, Jasmine, was there good and versus evil? Yes, but it's 10 times more intense because everybody isolate themselves, rehabilitate themselves, and meditate themselves, and reflect themselves. Some people want to be in the dark, and then some people be in the light, and I'll be with my part 2.